All right, and welcome to MRV Motorsport F1 Series. We are here at Season 2, Round 9 at Baku, Azerbaijan. Um, I'm not alone. I'm really happy to announce that my good friend Amar Fezic is willing to help me out with the commentating. Amar, welcome. Maybe you can then introduce yourselves a little bit.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Malone. I am a new and upcoming driver. This is my second season here in MRV Motorsports. I'm looking to go a bit more professional on my name. I'm looking to get up to the big leagues and maybe fight for that first position at one point in my time. I'm still looking for that win, so hopefully it happens.
All right, that's great. Thank you very much. Let's go on with the race. You are welcome to do the intro from this point on. Good luck,
So,
mate.
welcome to the Baku. Welcome to Baku, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This stunning street circuit is a true test of skill. With its blend of high-speed straights and tight corners, the excitement is always high here, with plenty of room for drama and surprises. As the drivers line up on the grid, get ready for a thrilling race throughout the heart of Baku. Let's start with the driver lineup.
All right, starting from the back is this time Malone,
We have Diaz at 11 plates, just in front of Malone.
Bonardi at 10th place,
A bit of a downfall for Hiorares on 9th place, just behind Gutman.
Goodman, you already said it, is on 8th position.
Arham in 7th position.
6th position is from Jorit Yit, very well done in the qualifying.
Then we have Ind, just ahead of him.
At 4th place, Amar Fezic.
Nodi, not managing the best time, goes third.
Surprising second place for Jimenez.
And last for release, the racer from Croatia, Antic.
All right, very well done, Antic. Pole position for him. Good to see you at the front. All right, we're gonna start the race. And
Just a couple seconds before the drivers release their pedals, go on at full throttle and see who makes it out on the first turn. And they all get a decent start, by the looks of it. No collisions just yet. Oh, and Arham goes for a little spin. He loses out, 6th position.
and another hit between Malone and Goodman. It was, I think, but no crashes, luckily.
That is correct, Malone. We can see Fazic took a tight turn on Bonodi and tries to keep it at bay while chasing second place.
It's interesting to keep a little eye on Malone because he was starting from the back, but yeah, he did some real great practice times. So moving up the order already, up to 7th place already there.
That is true. 6 positions for Malone at the turn 4 already, so he already makes a good progress there. Benefits from mistakes.
The next in line would be Ains. I think it's a nice idea to go a little bit inside the car.
Ains chasing Jet, or are they actually going for a team game here? Are they going to overtake each other, or are they going to actually keep it at bay?
A little bad exit from Ains here, so there's a possibility for Malone, and he immediately makes a move just before the straight. 6th position.
Barely keeps it alive going on the inside there.
All right, we're gonna go back to the start for one more time because there was happening a lot actually. We saw Rafael.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at him because
had a little moment, yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Could have been like a higher input of throttle, could have been contact. We're about to find out. Decent start.
Very clean racing from most guys. Yes.
That was the cool tires for Arham there. That cost him a couple of positions back.
And there we see Goodman also having a moment. Gonna take a look at that. See what happens here. Also, too much on the throttle, yes.
Oh.
And then Malone couldn't avoid it anymore. I can tell Malone has some damage from this, but as Baku is not a real high downforce track, it's drivable. Oh, and Goodman going straight on, missing his braking point, and oh, that's gonna cost him some time.
Just missing the whole corner. Not a lot of drivers capitalizing And keep in mind, all the cold tires in the starts, they're already starting to push and trying to get as many positions as they can. It's not really helpful to push as much as you can at the start, but it's just a hard race. It gets you going. You want to go as fast as you can.
Exactly. We are gonna go back to the start for one more time, and then we just stick with it. Let's hope the leaderboard will stay in the right order. Okay, where we go? More to the front, I think. Let's take a look at Ain's car. Really well qualified from him, because usually his son is better in the qualifying, but he can
I
ride
guess
along with the front runners. That's really great to
I
see.
guess that does want to be left out in this one. He wanted to prove his point, and he did, but Jit already had him in the first corner, so he's gonna try and get that back as soon as possible, not hurt his ego.
And there is fighting going on between Vesic and Vanotti. Oh, we missed that actually. Vesic went to the outside on Vanotti a little bit earlier.
That's true. I think he tried to capitalize his better tires at the beginning as soon as he could, and maybe try and create a gap and just defend for that point.
Yeah, it's great that you start talking about the tires, because we can see a lot of differences between the guys. I see Antic is going on the yellow tire, soft tire, and also Vanotti chose the yellow tire. And yeah, maybe you can fill me in, Amar. Is that the right
Yeah,
choice for this race, or?
yeah. Not a lot of people are actually capitalizing how much tire wear gets you on this track. I think the softer tires definitely helped in the strategy. Just picking harder tires such as Ink did, like picking the yellow tire, the soft tire, it wasn't as helpful because he just had troubles keeping up in those first corners and those first laps. He had to use a lot of yards to get to those people.
Yeah, but it has also something to do with how long the tires can last, of course. And I have to say, the C5 and the C4 were holding up really, really good. So I really think the soft tires were not the right choice. As we see, Jimenez making a move on Antic at the long straight.
And at the same point, Minori making a move on Basic.
Exactly. We're missing a lot. Can we still? No,
Ah,
Vesic was already third, right?
yeah, that's true. I think he defended his position there from the outside. He didn't let Minori grab him by the neck and just go past him. But Jimenez actually capitalized on Antic and took his place. Can he
Exactly.
keep it?
And that's about the story we were talking about, like the tires, because Antic was not able to warm up the tires properly enough. So always fighting to have some temperatures in the soft tires. They were so hard to keep on
That is
temps.
true. That is true.
And I think that's why he lost the position eventually. And let's see if he's dropping back some more because of the tire choice. All right, we're gonna switch to Malone. He's on 6th place. Oh, and
Already.
Vanotti went. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Mhm.
We want to witness, of course, what's happening to Vanotti, because he's one of the championship contenders, and he is making a mistake here.
Uh, you just can't go on throttle on that curb. It just makes you throw your rear end up high, and if you go on throttle too early, it just makes you do that. Vinodi unfortunately didn't have the time to test it out as much. And
Um,
another crash for Gutman, not even seeing Vinodi nor noticing him crash on the track. This is
oh my
devastating.
God. Oh, that was like he didn't really need to retire, I think, but I think he retired out of shame because he took out
Yeah.
Goodman there. Real unfortunate to see. Yeah, it's so hard to have patience to wait for a good moment to get back to rejoin on track, but yeah, on this track, on that section, you can barely see who's coming. So yeah,
As we look for the final straight, Malone just breezes by Jet, having the DRS and having the exit advantage, just the slipstream and the ERS using it wisely. It just goes next to Jet, goes past him without any trouble. So
going back to Ames. Let's see if he can challenge Rafael, because he's really closing in on him. Oh, that was a bad camera angle. I'm sorry, guys. But Rafael needed to stay behind.
Ooh, Rafael giving it his all, trying to break later and capitalize on the exit, but easy over pushing. That's something we might find out very soon.
Wow, when we talk about close racing, can you get
That
any
is
closer? This is crazy.
inches apart from these two.
Oh, and Ain goes wide. Is there the possibility for Rafael to take the position? Yes, he does.
What a bold move down to the castle area. That is something he capitalized on, but he's just keeping the car intact, trying to get away from him, not let him go in the DRS zone, but not let him have the DRS in the next straight.
Switching to Phasage because he's also really close to Antage. Yeah, we discussed it already. Soft tires against super soft. Let's see what's happening.
So you can just tell the dirty air in this section is very dangerous to keep at, as you might just hit the wall, not even thinking that you can't steer as much. The understeer just gets to you as it's like just pounces at you. You don't even know it.
And
Using ERS and DRS, he just goes for a bold move down the inside. Is he gonna keep it? Close contact almost. Lets him space, leaves him space, and takes him on the inside. What a move.
Let's see if Antage can hold on to Phasage. But he wanted to defend the position. You can clearly tell, but yeah, he couldn't make it stick there on the outside.
Phasage using a lot of ERS. We can tell by the blinking lights. He's already really low and does a spin. Too much throttle on the exit.
But
he takes his position.
That's hard to see because he was driving such a good race, Phasage. But yeah, he kept his car in one piece, at least drivable. So
that is what matters. That is what matters. He's already being under pressure by Chet, who's behind him at this point. The spin didn't just cost him position; it cost him a lot of time. So Chet has an opportunity on the next DRS zone to take his position. Is it something that we might see? Going up and on.
Also, Malone is closing in to Antage here, and also and a mistake from Antage.
Antage, someone that we don't expect to make as many mistakes, actually finds himself struggling in Baku. Malone keeps it clean, doesn't want to go for the move yet because he knows he has DRS, he knows he has a slipstream. He might freeze next to him, and that is the strategy here.
Yes, and we didn't even talk about the downforce levels because, yeah, there was a big difference between the guys. As you can see here, Malone really low downforce and Antage just
struggle whatsoever.
Look at the difference.
Antage really trying to keep the position here. He is under pressure. He is stressed. He wants to keep the second position. He does not want to get beaten by these people.
Alright, let's focus on Yit a little bit because he's still close to Phasage there. Both guys, I think, on the C4 tire, and another mistake. Who was that? I think it was Ain, no?
Just as we talk about mistakes, Antage doesn't move. He doesn't brake as well as we think. He might have locked up and went straight on. That cost him a lot of time. He goes down to P7.
Yeah, unfortunately we cannot get every incident on camera, of course, but
That's true.
we do our best. We didn't see Diaz yet. How is he holding up?
Diaz in the middle of the mix. He's in his own race. He's 4 seconds behind Antage. Girhada is not even close to him. He's trying to and a move from Ing. A move from Ing that is not where you park your car. That is something that he can't move from there. That is such an unfortunate position. He loses out.
Accepting a little bit of front wing damage there, but I have to say, real mature driving from him, waiting for the right moment to get back on track. And yeah, let's see what's happening to him.
Can he go back with all that damage to at least capitalize on a couple of points?
Yeah, and when you have this damage, the way back to pit is really tricky, as you already explained.
That is true. That is very true.
Especially at the two full throttle corners that are coming up here. Let's see if Aint has some movements in his car. Oh,
Oh,
yes,
the other
all
steer
right.
is visible. It is visible. He's just barely keeping it off the walls on the track. Thankfully, this is not Monaco. He's already heading maybe towards the pits,
Yes.
and he's already going for it. He's wanting to fix that damage. Maybe go on a different strategy. Maybe go on harder tires for a longer time. How will this go for him?
Yes, and that's a real tricky thing to do, as we already talked about the temperatures that are really difficult to get into the tires, especially the
Mm.
harder compounds. So let's see how that works out for Aint. All right. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
some
having a look at
gaps. Only Malone is coming closer to Jimenez, by the way.
Jermaine is actually not gaining that distance that he wants to from Malone. He's already in the DRS zone. This should be a breeze for Malone, unless he actually capitalizes and uses all of his DRS, which is not going to benefit him in the longer run.
I have to fill you in on that a little bit because I can tell Malone was saving ERS a little bit before he was actually making a move on Jimenez, because he knew that Jimenez was also on real low downforce settings, and yeah, when you overtake on the long straight, you have to defend on the second straight. If you cannot do it, then it doesn't even make any sense to go for that move in the first place.
That is true, Malone. Straight after straight, DRS after DRS. It's all about strategy and overtaking and Baku.
The track is so narrow that the camera angle from outside is sometimes really awkward, but alright.
Sure, sure.
Let's see some driving from Malone as he tries to get into reach from Jimenez.
Yeah, keeping it in a 1 second gap as close as he can. He's trying to be in that DRS zone. Maybe try another move at the final straight. Just almost cutting the track there, just going as much as you can on the limits. Close to the walls. Exit here. Don't be early in the throttle.
I'm gonna switch over to Rafael for a second because he's really close to Diaz and making a move even on a different part of track here. Not on the straights, I mean. Alright, something happened maybe to Diaz, I'm not sure.
I don't know,
But
it's something you've noticed, Malone, but RM is looking as he's having really good exits here. He's always fighting the drivers in corners. He's not actually having to struggle that much on the exits. He's actually having really good exits. This is something maybe only his setup has.
he did have some moment there, but yeah, maybe he's on a little bit higher downforce setting than probably, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's true. That might be.
Alright, switching back to Malone because having the DRS already, or I'm not sure, but the second DRS, it looks like he's gonna get it. Let's see if he immediately can make a move here.
This is one of those points where you just look at the driver ahead and you can tell that his car is sweating of how much he's actually trying to keep Malone at bay. Malone is, as we know, currently the champion, and it is something that is the hardest task to do on track, is keep Malone at bay. So can he do it for at least a couple more laps?
Exactly, I can tell Jimenez really wants to give me that challenge, and I'm really happy that he is so motivated to do so. And yeah, up until now he does a pretty good job holding me off, I have to say, and overtaking was not so easy because yeah, he also had the same downforce levels as me, so
Oh, we can see a bit of the lights blinking on behind of Jimenez. Maybe he is already out of ERS. This is something that Malone might actually use to overtake him.
I think Malone is within that second now, and it's time to at least try to make a move.
Capitalize on exit, throttle as soon as you can, and just try not to understeer on this section here. This is the key.
It even looks like Jimenez was scratching the wall there, but I'm not sure. And here the DRS going is
Will he go for the
enabled.
move? Goes from the outside. Jimenez defending on the outside, but he is too far to actually make it next to Malone, so there is no defending here whatsoever, people.
but always the possibility to come back at Malone in the second straight. Let's see how this works out. But yeah, as I already told, Malone saved a lot of ERS to cover this move off, and it looks like he is able to do so.
He needs to get at least 1.5 second gap in the final straight so he can breathe and rest easy as Jimenez overbreaks himself and actually hits the wall, having a bit of damage, but he's keep on going at second place.
I think this had something to do with the dirty air maybe, or like, yeah, the pressure to follow Malone after the overtake. But man, the challenge is over now. That's unfortunate. Maybe Malone, a new challenge for Fasic, because he has an eye on Jimenez now. But I think 5 seconds.
That is something Fasic is gonna have trouble with doing. Yeah, Jimenez is definitely a top contender in this championship. Like, Fasic needs to give it 110% to actually get at least close to Jimenez. We can tell he's already pushing just by looking at the car. His movesets, his throttle inputs, the way he brakes. Maybe he can get close, but I don't think a move can be done. Not now, at least.
At least it will take him a lot of laps to come closer if he can. But up until now, the difference stays a little bit around those 5 seconds. So, but we must not forget we are at lap 9 at the time. But the pit stops are also something that are gonna change things on track maybe, because Fasic is on the C4 tire. How about Jimenez? I think he's also on the C4 tire. So they both will go to the C5 tire later, probably. Alright.
Unless Jimenez does have problems with his car. He took damage, as we've seen that little spin where he overbraked himself, locked up the rears, and just hit the wall. Maybe he actually tries to fix his car and put in like harder tires. What is the strategy? We do not know yet. Time will tell.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out in a second maybe. But yeah, mostly damage is drivable because the downforce levels are so low to begin with. So I'm suspecting that that he will continue on. But yeah, let's see who is right. All right, we didn't see Bonardi so much maybe. Yeah, Goodman is also out. Did we see that?
Oh, Goodman. We didn't see his incident. Maybe he did something similar to Antich. Maybe he hit the wall and then didn't just want to ruin everybody else's race. Or maybe it was the moment where he hit Antich and maybe both of them retired at the same time.
Bonardi's 1.6 seconds from DS.
Bonardi actually struggling to get the car to rotate. Maybe his tire choice, maybe his setup was not actually as perfect as he wanted it to be for this race. Braking kind of late. And actually getting closer to Diaz. Could this be a Bonardi move on Diaz the next lap?
Diaz on the yellow tire. Did he already pit?
Diaz could have started on the yellow tire.
Yeah, that's more
believable.
Believable, yes, exactly. All right, and also Diaz on his turn is closing into Georgiades or Georgiades. I'm still not sure how to pronounce his name. Go to the T-cam for a bit. We are on board with Diaz, and he's looking at the tail of Georgiades. The difference is about 2.7 seconds. Bonardi following Diaz on his turn, 1.8 seconds behind. And then, yeah, we talked about Aint before. He had that incident, and yeah, he went on the C2 tire actually. I think that was not necessary, but okay.
I don't think he considered the wear and heat input on the tires of this track. I think this might cost him way more than you think it does. It's not just about how long the tire lasts, but if you can actually get heat and grip into it during those laps. I don't think he thought about it too much.
Sorry to interrupt you, my friend.
So it's all right.
Malone went to the pit, and therefore the positions were switching. So I saw real close racing, but it was only a pit stop.
Malone taken into custody actually heat up the tires during racing. Not good for the timestamps and the lap times, but he seems to be confident in his ability to actually take first place.
It definitely will not improve the times, but I felt it was so necessary to warm up the tires. You see me do that more often and often because I couldn't get the C4 tires properly heated up. At least the front left tire. Yeah, Amar, maybe you can tell me something about how to warm up tires properly, because I know you have a different technique than me.
Well, first of all, I just have to add on that your move to heat up the tires is actually way smarter than it looks, because we can tell getting out of the pits is as similar starting a race having cold tires. You don't want to over push your car. You're already used to going fast, and if you try to do that on cold tires, you're just gonna hit the wall and end your race there. But as for a motor strategy to hitting up tires, it's all about, I'd say, pinpoint trail braking. I think you have to actually maximize your what do you call it, G-forces on front end while braking.
Yeah, you're rubbing the tires in the corners for heating them up, you mean, I think.
I've never experienced even on really low tires while Malone is actually making a move. We don't have time to talk about it. Malone actually makes such a swift move on a better tire, making him do a mistake. He's trying to get that DRS from Malone, but that's just not possible.
Yeah, Malone on a better tire, coming back from a pit stop, and there you see him weaving around again to get the heat in the tires. Yeah.
What a true champion we have here. He's not even worried about losing this race. He knows what's going on.
I felt real confident, especially after that mistake of Jimenez, of course. The real threat was gone and I was cruising like champion, and I am, so I can't, I can't say it
you
like
have all
this.
the right to brag.
I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. It just feels good too, but I already was 1 point away from the championship last race.
So having clashed wheels with Jet a couple of times, I can tell he's a really, really good contender for the midfield. He has a good racecraft. He has good visibility. He's a hone of your presence of your car. He knows where you're at the time, so he's not going to be someone that punts you off. But he is just struggling to keep up with Malone because it's just that big of a difference in how much you use the track and when you throttle, when you brake. It's just he's not on that level yet, but he's actually trying his hardest. We can tell he's not letting Malone go off that easy.
All right, we are gonna go to the following order. Jimenez on first place, but making a pit stop this time around, so he's gonna lose out to his position to Fasic.
A very obvious undercut by Malone, and as we can tell, he's already behind his teammate Fasic. He's closing him very, very quickly. Does Fasic want to give up the position? Do they want to do the game for the team and actually make a switch? This is something we're gonna have to see.
I think there won't be so many problems about that because Fasic knows he has to make a pit stop still, and the tires from Malone are better at this point. So yeah, I think they can work together if they are proper teammates. Let's see how how they do that, how they are managing that. But all right, Jimenez came back on track, third place. Yet following Jimenez at 6.7 seconds. Bonardi 18 seconds behind. Then Arham is... Oh, it's another pit stop.
Oh, we thought he retired for a second there. That was very concerning.
Georgiades, he is close to Arham.
But now Arham has a better tire advantage. He doesn't have the heat yet. Might get it throughout half a lap. But this is the window that Georgiades has to accomplish. He has to accomplish getting DRS in that window. Yeah, that's just it. We don't know if he's able to do it. While Malone breezes through Fasic Faze's not putting up a fight. Maybe there is no need to.
I
Not in
have
the
to.
first
I
corner.
I have to. I have to turn this back because you had the question about working together, and you can see Fajic was
Did he miss?
properly giving some room to Malone, but as you can hear at the engine of Malone, he really wanted to let Fajic stay in his DRS. So you can hear he's off the throttle here to make sure that Fajic was
Key
not
in game.
losing the DRS, and yeah.
Maybe compromising his braking a little bit, but
Because I was focusing on doing all that, I barely missed my breaking point here and barely hit the wall here. But okay.
all right. Faze is trying to keep close. We don't think he wants to go for a move here. Like this is very risky. Maybe in his head, taking out one of the best drivers and himself at the same time would be a no-go for the team and for Malone himself. Just keep it as close as he can, capitalize on the wear on everything else, DRS, and just to get as far away from Jimenez as possible. Maybe capitalize on a it's just pit stop.
Yeah, a little bit more about MRV Motorsport. I want to be clear: there are no team orders. Face it, you are free to challenge Malone as long as you keep it clean. Then you're all good. I actually want you to do that,
Okay. Now we
but
know
it needs to be clean. But I'm sure you can handle that.
I'm sure Phaser with a racecraft of 200 is
Yeah.
definitely ready to take on someone side by side, such as great as
I
Malone.
know, I know. All right, seeing you that making that beautiful move on the outside. Oh,
Oh, flip.
yes.
I think his right hand side of the car just hopped up on the curbs, and a little bit of throttle just made the car unstable, and that is the end of his chase for Malone and the DRS.
Yes, and then he had Faces has one lucky thing. He didn't pit yet, so he has no, the possibility to repair his car when he decides to go to the pit stop. Lap 17, still no pit stop. Wow.
Now you've mentioned the downforce being very low on this track is also not concerning if you break your wings. Phaser already has, would say, broken front and maybe rear wings. Maybe it's something that he doesn't want to do. Maybe it's something he thinks will take too much time and risk his race.
Yeah, that's always a difficult choice, of course. When you feel the car is still handling pretty well, yeah, then you can choose to continue, of course. Let's take a look at Costre.
Costra seems to be in a lonely race of his own. He's maybe even on the hunt for a better lap time. There's no pressure on him. He is pressuring no one, so this is just a very lonely race for him at the moment.
Well, 2.4 seconds. Georgiades is still on his tail, but let's
Yeah, but
see.
the worst tire, maybe better tire. That is something we have to test.
The soft tire for Costre, sorry, but also the soft tire for Georgiades. So a pretty even battle here about the tires then. Yeah, when we talk about Costre, I want to tell you, you gave me some moments on the race that you really wanted to be in the replay, but I have to say, I think we missed them. I'm really sorry, but yeah, it's so hard to manage every
The
little
important thing is that Costra is a great racer. Just keep in mind, folks, a 14-year-old talented driver, keeping it in the middle of the pack, clean, correct, and not going over the limits. He's just incredible.
Let's give him some more airspace to make it up. Oh, some movement in the car there. Good car control to recover that.
You could just tell he's always fighting the limits of the car. He's always finding them and fighting them at the same time. He's not trying to go any slower than he is.
Let's see. Yeah, I have to say the best fights have actually been behind us, probably. Sorry. No, Fazic, did you pitch at?
Fazic?
Oh, making a
Oh,
mistake here.
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
18 laps on the C4 tires. There was. I think the C5 tires could easily make 10 laps. So maybe you should have pitted a lap or two earlier, but I
Right,
think.
Fazic already pitted. Heading down on the pit exit. And we just see Jet go next to him. They're side by side already. And he gets the move. He keeps his position, but Yit already has DRS, so he's of course going to be in front of him. Slipstream and ERS seem to be more powerful than the DRS, so he capitalizes. Goes for the braking point normally as ever, but Yit kind of overextends the corner and makes a mistake.
Faces was braking so bravely after his pit stop on that cold tires. But okay, well, he managed to get it out of the wall.
Something perhaps brake related setup could always help with a little bump of the wall. Doesn't unleash his car that much to make a spin, but it definitely is feeling the pressure laying on a phase edge. Maybe he is waiting for a mistake. Maybe that's exactly what I want.
Yes, and on a track like this, I have to say that you were pretty lucky to have the pace that you did after all that little touches to the wall.
That is very, very true. This is where
you can look at it two ways, right? From one side, it's amazing that you can keep it out of the wall because you did that hits. But on the other side, you did hit the ball so a couple of times.
That is something we thought would not be seen by the public. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry to point it out. Okay. Yet holding on, trying to stay within that DRS detection point within that second.
0.8 behind. Already trying to make moves throughout every corner, but I think Fazic wasn't actually keeping his DRS at bay. He was giving it his all to just escape from his DRS. Yet already braking. I'm maybe a bit too late. Just a tad too late. Not hitting the apex of that corner. This is where also the tire manager Fazic comes into play, because we can already tell that Yet is having troubles turning his front end of the car.
Especially to the right corner, so because that left front tire, it's almost all to the left, and only a couple to the right corners.
Something that the stats say that every driver already had a setup that could reach 330 kilometers per hour on the straights. Basically, never exceeded 330 kilometers an hour at the straight lines. So this is something we should keep in mind. He doesn't have a high-speed setup.
No, exactly, and that can make a big difference because I can tell with the load on for setup. Yeah, I have to say, including DRS and ERS, I was reaching 356 kilometers an hour. So that's a big difference on the straight.
Big difference on the straights, yeah.
But again, it was with ERS and DRS together, so I don't know when you measured it. All right, lonely race from most of you guys. Georgiades is on his own, 10 seconds behind him, Diaz, and
I think we might have seen Fazic make the fastest lap of the race, which is something our stats say.
That is something that I cannot see on the timings. Yeah, unfortunately. Did you see it go purple there?
I think I did, and my name wasn't anywhere.
Oh yeah, no, but it's true. I remember because Fazic, of course, was switching to the C5 tires with not so much fuel in his car anymore. So really light car with good tires. So yeah, of course, attacking the fastest time is
something only would be natural for that tire and that situation he's in.
Exactly. I think we're gonna skip a little bit. I don't know if you agree on this because.
Yes, since we are a lonely race for everybody on the grid, so we might go ahead and skip time.
Exactly. Let's see, lap 22. Going one more time to the order. Let's see if someone is close. There we go.
Oh,
There we go. We still have some fights on track.
this is Arham
Costre,
facing
exactly.
Bernardi. This is going to be an easy overtake. DRS is open. This goes on the inside. No need to defend. No possibility to defend. Could Bernardi make a really late lunge? No, he's not. That did not. And he does, but he does. And it doesn't go as planned. This is very surprising for someone such as Bernardi. Not a lot of fighting we've seen from Bernardi in the past couple of races, but he seems to be wanting to make a name for himself also, at least in the midfield.
And he got that well deserved. Camera time, of course, when things like this is happening.
He is trying to
hold on. Yeah, I have to say, Bonardi still has that that mindset. When he got overtaken, he wants that position back. But I have to say, he always goes a little bit deep and a little bit too much to the inside. And yeah, that's not going to help you in the long run. But yeah, I don't know.
Pace doesn't seem to be a strong suit for Bernardi, as we see Arm make a little bit of a spin on the rear wheel. It doesn't cost him too much time there. He capitalizes and goes on ahead.
And that's actually exactly the advantage that Bernardi does do pretty well, because he's really steady. And as I see Costre drive, he has that little mistakes going on. And maybe the lines of Bernardi are not that good as those from Costre. Yeah, he is more consistent on his driving. So trying to hang in there. Again, a little bit mistake of Costre there, going way too much to the left. But yeah, still he gained more than a second on Bernardi. So unfortunately, I think this fight is kind of...
It is long over for Bernardi there. But he had the fighting spirit, which is something that we can hopefully look forward to in Season 3, where maybe Bernardi actually keeps his mindset well and practices the tracks more and actually makes the move next time.
Right. We're gonna skip again. Malone on first place. Jimenez second place. And Fasic third place. All three of them totally by themselves. Followed by Yet, is that correct? Yes.
Yes, Yet seems to be close behind Fasic, but still not close enough. In his viewpoint, this might be a 5 to 6 second gap. The leaderboard is giving us much favors right now.
And the leaderboard is done.
6 second gaps has to be between the two. Fasic not feeling the pressure, would say. Maybe he has to actually capitalize on saving the RS to go down the straight, because he just seems to be having better top speed at this point.
Yeah, with only 2 laps to go, Fasic definitely doesn't have to feel the pressure anymore. There you see him vanishing in the distance. Alright, we have Costre on 5th position then. Georgiadis, 5th, I'm not sure.
But it's such a lonely race for everybody. This is
exactly.
Something you don't expect in a tight track just such as this, but everybody making mistakes, almost everybody making mistakes at a time of their own made them gain this gap from behind and in front, so there is no pressure on almost any driver.
No, and one more look at Diaz here. I think he finished 8th or 9th. 8th, 9th, yeah, something like that. Unfortunately, Antich, Goodman, Vanotti, and were DNFs, and Dooley had a problem with his computer. Unfortunately, for the second time in a row, he couldn't participate in a race. But
tough race and a tough track, as said by the 4 DNFs in this race already, which is only bringing us down to the 9 drivers. Which means everybody's in the points, but unfortunately not everybody who wanted to be in the points is there. So
we go back to the leader one more time. I think we can skip this lap a little bit. And we're gonna witness Malone going over the finish line. finishing the championship as a winner, as a champion for season 2,
And
and
across the line, almost
almost,
across the line,
almost.
Malone takes victory in Azerbaijan. What a sensational performance by the top driver of the season.
I think it's time
And
for a little
Donut.
treat.
What a race, folks. Malone takes the win, but it was a battle right until the end.
Jimenez going over the finish line in second place, lapping 8. All right. Nice podium for MRV on 1 and 3. Yeah, Jimenez on second spot for, sorry, if I'm going, Supersonic Racing Team. And yeah, I'm not sure. I hope I said it
Hey,
right.
I mean that even rhymes. 1-3 for MRV. Let's go. This is some
Exactly.
spectacular.
All right, we're done. I think we're gonna close up. Maybe I give the honor to you, Amar.
All right, so this is it, people. This has been the race. After an action-packed and dramatic Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we saw plenty of thrilling moments, stunning overtakes, and unexpected twists on the streets of Baku. With the chaos of this high-speed street circuit behind us, let's dive into the results and break down what went down in today's unforgettable race. That is it for today, people.
I want to thank you very much for joining me, Amar.
Yeah.
And you're doing very well with the intros and the outros. I can only add one thing, and that is I hope to see you all next race on Abu Dhabi. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, guys. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right, welcome everyone to the post-race show here in Baku, where we just witnessed another thrilling round of the 2025 Formula One season. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix always brings drama, and today was no exception. From the tight and unforgiving walls to the iconic street circuits to the high-speed battles that unfolded on track, it was a race full of tension and excitement. After 26 laps of intense racing, we've seen stunning performances from the drivers, but in the end, it was Malone who came out on top. Stay tuned as we bring to you all the reactions and insights from the drivers, the teams, and what this result means for the championship as we head into the next leg of the season. But first, let's hear it from the man who crossed the finish line today. First, Malone, congratulations on the win. What a race.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes, it was an exciting race. That's definitely true because I was starting from the back, as you know. And
Mm.
yeah, well, it went pretty quick actually. When I looked after lap 2 or something, I was already in
Yeah.
P6, or after lap 1 maybe, I don't know. And then I took it easy a little bit, but I was wondering where Vanotti went because I didn't see him, and I saw
Mhm.
Antich. Unfortunately, he's not here for an interview, but I saw him drive on the soft tires, and they really cannot get up to temperature. So that was really the wrong choice from him. But yeah, and then we met a couple of times on track. Yeah, my teammate Faisic and me. It was
Yeah, we didn't want to clash wheels. It was something. It was a team game. It was a strategy game. But I was happy to collide. I mean, to clash next to you. That was kind of exciting. Not gonna lie.
yeah, that's unfortunate, man. But
Were
things
there?
happen. I think it's
Hmm.
also happening to Jimenez. He's also not here for an interview because he doesn't speak English very well. But
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, I had a great fight with him actually for P1, and yeah, I was charging my battery a little bit, a couple of laps, but yeah, then I overtook him, but he wanted to follow me closely, and the dirty air made him spin. I think I don't know, but then the fight was over, and
Mhm. Were
that
there any moments during the race when you felt you were on the limit? Like,
that I was on the limit.
yeah, where you were on the limit, where the car you was testing the car is 101%. Was there any point
Ah,
in the race?
I have a driving style that I definitely a lot of the times my rear end is moving around, but it's controlled. So I don't have to. No, I had a really clean race, and sure I can drive on the limit, but not on the limit, but just below the limit is my tactic actually in the race. And that's what I did. It was pretty clean. Only in the first corner I got a hit from someone. I don't know who it was, but I had some damage at the front wing. But yeah,
And just one final question: like, how did you manage tire and strategy? What was the key to this race for you? Like, how did you decide to start on the C5s and go around on C4s? Tell us about that.
yeah. I normally I'm not. training for the long run so much, but I actually got a question from one of the drivers, and I was testing the C4. And then I thought, wow, I can do 18 laps on those. Then maybe I can switch to the C5. And I went on the C5 to test out how long they went. And you could easily do 10 laps on them. So I thought, okay, that's a pretty easy decision. I hope the other guys don't realize this, as Antich, for example. But yeah, a lot of the guys did realize it, I think, in the end. But yeah, for me, it worked out the best today.
All right, Malone. Is there anyone else? Do we can we bring someone else in? Like, what about Vedran? What about Kostre? You want
I
to hear a bit from the drivers as well? All right.
Yeah, actually, it's your turn because you are number three. But if you want to skip that to the end, then we don't lose the other drivers. Maybe
I mean,
is that all right for you?
maybe I can say a little bit. My race was quite exciting. I happened to find myself on 110% of my limit, and drivability. I was inches away from the walls. I had contact, yeah, with the wall a couple of times. I clashed it, but I always recovered. And the damage I had actually never gave me some bad input of the car. The car was always stable and was perfect condition throughout the whole race. So I always pushed and pushed and pushed, and I happened to, just like you, clash wheels with Jimenez. Was actually exciting. Being next to a driver of such capability and such racecraft, it was kind of, it was nerve wracking. I didn't want to make a mistake. I happened to find myself being better in the corners, but still, like one little mistake made me go off. So yeah,
You did good, almost good because the spin there. But I'm really happy to see you on the podium, and I was actually kind of curious about your setup. Did you actually go with the low downforce setup, or did you switch to your previous one?
I I actually used a setup as we all almost did, like from Spa, but I did tweak it a little bit to not have as much downforce. Like I mostly was good in the corners because of the brake bias and the and just the brake force. Actually, braking helped me the most. I don't think I was on a lot of downforce. Maybe the rear wing, maybe, but yeah, I did notice a lack of speed on the straights. But I compensated with that by saving my battery for the last straight, so kind of worked out well.
All right, all right. Yeah, I was curious. So you were on one rear downforce, maybe, or something, or what?
Yeah, I was on one rear downforce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's still pretty quickly. And the rest of your race, did you have some fights actually that you thought? Because you were starting fourth, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't exactly remember who was third. Maybe it was Antich.
No, Antich
Antich,
had the pole position this
I
time.
think Chadapol, who was third? Who was it? Jimenez? No.
Yeah, yeah. It was Fanotti or Jimenez. No, no, it was
Oh
Fanotti.
no,
Fanotti. Yeah.
yeah, Vanotti. So I happened to have a really good launch, just as every race, obviously, and I got alongside Vanotti already, like in a matter of seconds, and I was actually getting on the 2 liters in front, but I couldn't make a move. It was actually too risky. I was like, play it safe. So I actually just went alongside Vanotti, and as we talked, the brake pressure that I did was quite unusual, and it helped me go through the first corner better than Vanotti and actually gain an advantage, especially with the newer tires, softer tires. So I kept him behind me for a while, and he made a mistake, and I think that is what ended his whole race. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, yeah. I didn't see it yet, but that's probably what happened. And how did you manage to get the tires up the temperature the first stint? Because you started on the C4. I had trouble, to be honest, to keep them, especially the left front. How was that for you?
you had troubles keeping him hot, like warm up to temperature. Well,
Yeah,
for
the
me,
C4s, the C5s were
uh,
easily to keep up the temperature, but the left
yeah,
front tire was losing temperature a lot with the C4 for me.
I
How was that
I
for you?
actually find myself having better grip going towards the right, or at least equal to going towards the left. It was actually quite easy to gain up to temp because I brake hard, I brake late, and I use a lot of trail braking. So I think it usually helps me to overheat it at least at one point, and then it cools down on the straights. So it actually compensated by
You
braking late and everything.
Yeah, you told a couple of times now already, and I have to
Yeah.
acknowledge this because you're really good on the brakes, and probably that's the difference between the two of us. I actually
Thank you.
never brake really late. It's for me, it's like controlled braking, but I start really early actually, and still I'm fast. But the difference between us about braking is really visible on the replay tomorrow. Maybe
Yeah.
we can see
Yeah,
it.
that is. I didn't want to like say it, but I just found out that yeah, I remember now that I was actually gaining on you in the corners because of my braking. You were, for me at least, you were early in the. It was just kind of simple for me. I just had to brake late and
Yeah, well,
really go on
I
that apex.
all right. I have to correct you a little bit because the braking zone you're actually pretty spot on. There is what you gain, but I'm
Mhm.
focusing more on the exit. I
Ah,
believe I focus more on the exit, and on the exit
that is
I
true.
get the time back that I lose in the braking zone, maybe. But yeah,
That is
sometimes
true. That's where I had to put more power on the ERS to gain on you on the exits, and it was kind of hard to keep up on the exit. That's very true. So
yeah, yeah. All right. Shall we drag someone else in because otherwise they lose motivation maybe to
yeah,
talk. Okay,
yeah. Let's go. We can drag someone in.
it's all yours. The podium. I will shut up. We drag Costry in. Good luck, mate.
All right, all right. Hello, hello, Costre.
Hello.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty satisfied with my finish.
Pretty satisfied. You finished P5.
Yes.
So how did the car feel for you? How was your setup? Let's
I
start with
had
that.
way too much downforce, so in the straights I was losing 2 seconds and maybe gaining a second in the middle sector. So not very good.
So it was a dramatic race here in Baku, as we all know. Can you talk us through your strategy and how you managed to secure a P5?
So at the start I had a bad start. I had a good start of the line, but then I had spinning into the wall. So the rest of the race was just recovery. And then at lap 5, I actually crashed at the castle section and spun backwards. So I lost a few positions to that too.
That's
So yeah, after that, I tried to go as long as I could on the C4, but not too long to lose too much time on them. And then I just simply changed to C3. And because of my higher downforce, I was able to keep the game much more time in the sector, in the middle sector, than the person behind me. So I could keep P5 even though I had a penalty.
You say you had a higher downforce setup, but were you impacted by any of the incidents that occurred throughout the race? How did you cope with avoiding them if you were entangled in them?
What do you mean? Like
Like
if I
the incidents throughout the race that happened, a lot of people were spinning, going wide, crashing, and how did you cope with that? Were you entangled in those incidents, or did you not even occur to be next to one or near one?
I was near a lot of crashes, especially lap 1, 2, and 3. So at the first lap, coming out of the second corner, I saw a little crash between Malone and Goodman. So uh, that was that on the first lap, and then on lap 3, 4, I think, uh, Iant, no, lap 2, Iant had a crash into the outside wall on the exit of turn 15, and then on lap 4, Iant and Constantino went off right behind me and crashed behind me, but that was mostly all the crashes uh, outside of my own incidents.
I mean, that must have given you a bit of time out, to focus on your driving and not just racing other people, correct?
Yeah, that's true. I was driving alone for a very long part of the
Mhm.
race.
I mean, a lonely race is better than a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, okay, so P5, let's be honest, it's not what you wanted. It's not the position that you imagine yourself being in, being one of the younger and more talented drivers. Do you think there was a point throughout the race where you could have pushed harder to get a better result? And what is it that you learned in this race?
So at the first lap, coming off the line and down into the first corner, I had a spin into the out to the inside wall, all the way in to the inside wall,
Uh,
and I lost, I think maybe 4 3 seconds plus damage. So that was my biggest loss. And right after that, at lap 5, I had a crash into the castle section, where I actually ended up backwards for some time. So I think I lost maybe 10 seconds there. So those are my biggest losses, and I will try and avoid them as much as I can next race.
Is there something that you learned in this race? Something you can do better on to the next one?
Uh, can you be a little bit more specific? Like,
Well, I mean, people usually brake late. They underestimate the corner. They go too fast onto the apex and, budget or hit it and take a lot of damage. Is there something that you learned from your experience of driving on difficult tracks to make it, a lesson for the next race? As if don't brake
it's
so hard, don't go too hard, don't steer into early stuff like that.
well, my answer is pretty general. Is don't push too much. If you don't know where your limit is, you shouldn't be fighting that limit in the race. Because then you're gonna risk losing even more time than you would have lost not going at the limit. So that's what I've learned. Because I went over the limit a lot of times this race. I had a lot of crashes with the wall. Like I had a lot of taps with the wall, and a lot of half spins. So that's what I've
Well,
learned.
there you have it, Cuss. That was a great answer. I actually expect you to be more of a challenge in the next race. I think you even said this was one of your weaker tracks, so I'm only expecting an even better result next race, and I hope you get it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to thank you very much, Amar, for doing the
Yeah,
interview. You do it
you're
very
welcome.
well. Did
You're
you
welcome.
did you put something on paper before, or your intro was like?
We're not gonna talk about that, Malone, but
All right, it was amazing, and we're
some
gonna.
somewhere somewhere now. So yeah,
It was really
Okay,
good.
okay, fair enough. But you did a great job. Thank you very much. And I want,
thank you.
if you want, you can do the interviews every time
Oh,
because,
that'd be cool.
yeah, yeah, it would definitely be cool for MRV Motorsport because you're doing
Thank you.
a great job.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want us to improve. So if you think of me as an improvement in the interviews, so I will definitely be doing them every race. So
Yeah, as I already told you, like your English is amazing and you understand racing very well. And even that you drove yourself, you still can ask some
mm,
interesting question to other drivers. So thank you very much. Also, Kostray, thank
yeah.
you very much for the interview. I think we close up. Amar, go ahead.
Yeah, so there you have it. Another unforgettable race here in Baku. A big congratulations to Malone from MRV Motorsport for securing the win today, as well as to all the drivers who gave it their all in what was a true test of skill and endurance on its demanding street circuit. As we look ahead to the rest of the season, it's clear that the championship is heating up, and with races like this, we can expect even more drama in the coming weeks. Thanks for joining us here today, and be sure to tune in for all the latest updates from the F1 world. Let's go.
Wow, wow. You get an
Oh,
applause
good.
from me, mate. Well done.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Guys, see you next time. Thank you again.
See
Bye
you,
bye.
Malone. See you,
Bye.
Cos.
Bye bye.
Bye.